What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. Match preview time. Leeds United versus Brentford. Big game this weekend. Huge. Can Leeds take the momentum of the cup win against Cardiff into this game? I think so, but we'll look at both sides. Listen, before I go on, please hit a like on the video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Drop your comments on the video below, in the comment box below. And yeah, listen, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Afternoon to everyone and morning, night, wherever you are in the world. You know how it goes. This is a worldwide thing. Just quick shout outs to John Abbott and RP Astrology for super thanks donations on the last video. Thank you very much for your support. And yeah, and listen, if you want to become a member of the channel, the link is in the description also. Yeah, easy to everyone. Don J there, Danny and Tashan 85. Afternoon. And Gary actually spelling my name right. This is something for the books, isn't it? 2-0 Leeds, Cage up. Look, I'm even spelling your name right. Listen, you've given me a score prediction very early, mate. We don't do that just yet, Gary. But listen, I'll take that on board. 2-0. And a clean sheet, that would be something against Brentford. That would certainly be something. But listen, we've got a couple of things to talk about in this one. We're going to talk about the game, obviously preview the game. I'm going to talk about the Deloitte list that came out. I think it was yesterday, which is pretty interesting. And also some transfer news around the teams around us. I think it's very interesting to pick up on that and just see how you guys feel about it. And I'll give you my thoughts about how I feel about it too. As a content creator, I've got to put my cojones out there and give you my opinion. So I will do that. Ashley Curry saying, hi, KG, come on, Leeds, we can do this. Yeah, we can, but it's up to us. It's up to us. Listen, Brentford is not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. They're in great form in the league. But why not take our good form and momentum from the last game into this one at home at Elland Road? Why not? All it is, and you know what it is, people. We don't even need to say it, do we? But let's say it. It's the defense. We have to tighten up. And listen, Jesse Marsh did say about that. Let me just get into my notes. That they are working on set pieces, because with Brentford, what it is that they're not a pretty team. Brentford, they're not. They are long ball. And they're hoping to hit up to their target man and get their wingers and midfielders, attacking midfielders involved. So it's not like they'll play around us. I mean, they can if they want to and if we allow them to, but it's going to be more of a long ball thing. And I think that's why Jesse and the team are working on defensive stuff like that, set pieces. But we also need to work on the open play stuff as well. So I hope they haven't forgot about that stuff. Katrina asking, is Tony still playing, not been banned? No, he's not been banned yet. That case is still ongoing. So he's still free to play. Whenever they, adjourn their findings and everything else like that, then that's when he'll be banned. And, it's not just for everyone that loves a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy against Leeds. It's just the date that was given for his trial, and plus, not trial, the findings. Who knows what's going to happen there? There's a lot of, I don't want to speak on it too much because obviously that's a personal matter to Ivan Toney and something he's dealing with. But there's a lot of charges, isn't there? So I find it hard to believe that he'll probably escape this, but we'll find out. But yes, he will be available for the game, as will Rico Henry, who was past fit, which is a shame because he's a very good left back in this league. Radaby Leeds with a super chat. Thank you for that, Radaby Leeds. It will be a hard game, but I'm actually feeling optimistic after the other night. What are your thoughts on Bamford? He looks like a new man. My thoughts on Bamford is continue what you're doing, and if it's the new signing Jorginho that's made you hungry, if it's Rodrigo's form that's made you think I need to get back into this before I'm the forgotten man, then carry on. Right now, I don't think of it as I'm happy for Bamford. He owes us this. Remember, for me, guys, I always look at it from a Leeds United point of view, not a player. And as a player, he's done nothing since December 21 up until a few games ago. He owes us these goals. Since he signed a new contract, let's not forget that as well. Since he signed a new contract, he's been a ghost. So as long as he keeps on doing what he's doing for us right now, Radaby Leeds, I'm happy. And then we'll talk about it in the summer about where I think that he fits in or doesn't fit in my opinion, at Leeds United. But can't argue with 3 goals in 2 games. You just can't argue with that. So keep it up, Patrick. Jamie Dodger saying, looking forward to seeing Mr. Rutter. Hope you're good, Mr. KG. Yeah, I'm okay, man. I'm okay. But yeah, Jorginho was there talking today. I'm not going to go into his comments too much. It was just the usual, happy to play in the Premier League. He had talks with Elan Meslier about the team and about Leeds United, and that was a big sway in him coming here. what else did he say? Oh yeah, and one for the FIFA heads out there. He does use Rodrigo on FIFA. Uh, he's lightning quick on there, and and he plays the two of those guys up front on his PlayStation. So there you go. Maybe he sees himself in the two with Rodrigo. Uh, Katrina saying, if our defenders wake up, we might be all right. Glad Paddy came back fighting. He had a lot to prove. Exactly. This isn't a thing where all of a sudden Patrick Bamford's come back with 3 goals and everything's forgotten for me. No, there's a lot of, it's not about trust, is it? We don't know them personally, but I just feel he's got so much more to give back to Leeds, especially after signing that new deal and literally doing nothing for the whole of 2022, whether it's through injury or other things. So yeah, keep it going. Keep it going. Lewis with a super chat. Thank you, Lewis. Never doubted Bamford's ability, just his injuries. Um, hmm, yeah. I mean, listen, for me, he's not the be all and end all like a lot of fans seem to make him out to be. I think that there is way better out there, but for what he does for Leeds United and what he did in the promotion season, I mean, it was still a frustrating one with only 16 goals. I'll always maintain that, but yeah, he just needs to get back to being fit. And you could see there was a post after actually with I think it was Firpo, maybe Rodrigo and Bamford. They were all in an ice bath. I think that tells you everything. But listen, do whatever you got to do to stay fit, Bamford, because the more options we've got, the better for Leeds United. That's the way I think. Max Scales, thank you for the super chat. Love the content, KG. Aronson surely needs a rest. He reminds me a lot of Dan James at the moment. Runs too fast for his own good sometimes. It's that thing, isn't it? When you're out of form and you're low on confidence, you do try too much. All of a sudden, the one touch he was taking earlier this season, he's now taking 5 or 6. I think that it's important for him to get back to just doing the basics again. But I agree with you, Matt. I do think that he needs to sit out for this game. And somebody said on the match reaction actually to Cardiff he didn't want to see Aronson on there. I don't understand why he came on. I can see why Jesse put him on in that game because it was such a poor Cardiff team. He was probably looking for Aronson to get a jolt, get an assist, a goal out of something, just to get his confidence back. So I do understand why he came on a sub, but I do agree he does need to probably hold the bench. Wuxia is saying, finally catch you live, KG. Leeds is an exciting team, regardless of our results. It's always exciting. Wouldn't it be nice, though, Wuxia, for a little routine 2-0 win? That would be lovely, wouldn't it? That's how I want us to have a couple of games. Just a nice headache-free game of just 2-0 boring win. I'd love that. I would love it. John Wybus is saying Aronson will be more effective as a sub. Yeah, it's something I said on the last one. I think that maybe with all the options that we got coming through now, Somerville's going to be back training next week, which is great news. We've got Sinistera back. We've obviously got Jorginho. Maybe it's time for him to come on maybe in the last 20 minutes of a game and affect it then where the opposition players are a bit tired. Maybe that's the best bet. Maybe. So I agree, but I'm not. As I said in the last one, I'm not giving up on Aronson. I do still think there's a good player in there. I just think he's low on confidence. Luke W is saying 30 mil is an expensive sub. Luke, it's the Premier League. Like you're gonna have players that cost a lot of money that won't start every game. It's this is an old championship thing where we think that we have to play Luke Murphy, who cost 1 million in every game, just because he cost 1 million. It doesn't work like that in the Prem. If you're out of form, if you're out of sorts for whatever reason, there will be somebody to take your place. Because in your essence, saying Luke, and this is not going at you, that would be like saying, well, we shouldn't be playing Nanto because he only costs 3.8 million. I mean, who's going to replace Nanto at the minute? I mean, it's not always about money, but I do get what you're saying in terms of money spent, but it doesn't matter in the case of Premier League football. Let's have a look. And just some other notes from Jesse Marsh. I wanted to get this one out because obviously he got accused of losing some of the dressing room and things like that. And he said that obviously he was very angry about that, and the players came to him just this week and just said that it's a load of rubbish and everything else like that. The senior players. So he's completely rubbished that. I mean, obviously you would rubbish it, but I do believe him in this instance. I can see the annoyance in his face that it was even suggested. And like I've said before, and the reason why I believe it is because the players haven't down tools. They just haven't down tools. The results aren't going our way, but it's not for a lack of trying. You know what I mean? So I do believe him in that instance. Um, let's have a look. Oh, Verba, thankfully, big news. Verba is fit. So Verba will be available for this game, which is brilliant. So obviously it was a precautionary sub against Cardiff. Excellent news. We definitely need to see Verba on the pitch, and he is starting. Actually, shout out to Jack Wilson who come up with this starting back four of Firpo, Verba, Koch, and Christensen. I think it was. If I've got that wrong, Jack, I apologize. But I'm not against that for this Sunday. I'm not against it. He says Liam Cooper is fit and available. I thought he was just being rested for the cup, in all fairness, but so Cooper is available if needs be. But yeah, I like that balance. What Jack suggested. Luke coming back though, saying we aren't Man City. It's not about being Man City, Luke. It's just so you can't just throw out a player every time when they're out of form just because they cost a certain amount of money. It doesn't work like that in football, especially at top level. It doesn't work like that. Yeah, Marsh says, you know what? You know what's funny? There's been a heavy concentration on set pieces. If we concede in the first 2 minutes from a set piece, oh god! Sometimes I wish that kind of information wasn't available. I wish Marsh didn't release that because then it just looks silly if we do concede from a couple of set pieces in this game. But at least I guess we know now that that they are trying to work on that. But we need defensive work done in open play too. John saying, though, that back four is scary. John, every combination we've got is scary. You're just having to find the best one. And the reason why I'd go with Firpo, and I'll stick with it because I said it against Cardiff, and I've given it thought, and I would. Pascal Struijk, who is one of my favorites, is just not in form. Firpo seems to be picking up confidence. And I think it's not going to be one where we're looking at a clean sheet here. I think it's going to be more of a shootout. So why not give us that more attacking impotence with Firpo rather than with Pascal, who's looked very shaky? And it's not just been shaky without consequence. A lot of his shaky moments have led to goals, unfortunately. So yeah, I mean, I'm not against what that back four. Jamie Kerr saying, I think Verba would give Firpo good cover on that side if they both play. Yeah, I mean, we didn't get to see too much against Cardiff, did we, Jamie? Because there wasn't a lot Cardiff did while Verba was on. But he is a calming presence in the back. You can see that he's definitely got that about him. And I do think that he will probably do what you've said there, Jamie. I think he would be a good presence for Firpo. I think he'd be more than capable of covering for him on that side if Firpo was ever caught a pitch. I just think it's a good mix at this point. I think we just need to try different things right now because the previous back four, for whatever reason, whether it just wasn't working. It just wasn't working. So let's have a look. Matt Davis suggesting a back three. I'm not against it, but I don't think Jesse's going to do that. And Nakata saying we better win. It would be brilliant to win this game, Nakata. But obviously, like I say, it's not going to be easy. Brentford are a team in form. Tony, you just can't give him a sniff. He's deadly at all levels. And yeah, it's going to be tough looking out for Mbuemo as well. Somebody is going to have to be on that. I think Mbuemo plays. Does he play on the left or right? Just trying to think. I think he plays on the left. So it's going to be up to either Christensen or it's not going to be Drame, is it? It's going to be Ayling or Christensen to take care of that. German saying, would you be happy with a point against Brentford or is this a must win? For me, we need to win a game, German. I don't know about must win at this stage of the season, but we do need to win. We need to win a league game. We've been stuck on 17 points. Even Forest have gone up now into 20 with 20 points now. We don't want to be cut adrift and left in this mini league that we're in. And we're going to talk about this mini league in a bit later on as well. But for me, a win you've got to carry on that momentum you built from the Cardiff game and also the performance against Villa. If he wants to talk about performances mattering too, the big performance against Villa, the good performance against Cardiff, take it into this one and get 3 points. Chilled Scotty saying Firpo deserves a chance. I believe so too. And I need to make it clear as well. If I had my choice, I would replace a lot of these guys, but you have to go with what you've got. So you're having to make the best combination of what you've currently got for me. K-Bone though saying must win. I do understand that though. I just for me with the momentum, especially knowing how many of these players are confidence players, yeah, a win would be much welcome. Let me just see. Was there anything else of note? Joe Gelhardt is still here, trained with the team today. Um, I was going to talk about that later, but obviously Joe Gelhardt has been sound out by Wigan. It looks like that's his most likely destination. For me, with Wigan bottom of the league, I can understand Joe Gelhardt wanted to do that, trying to help out Wigan and help them survive. But that means this loan spell is for him is going to have to go. If he does go on loan, obviously nothing's finalized yet. He's going to have to do something really amazing in this team. Unlike if he was going to a team that was going for promotion, where he'd probably be gifted more chances to really impress, he's going to have to do something miraculous with Wigan, who I think are about 4 points from safety. I would have preferred him to go to a promotion team, but I understand the sentiment there. But yeah, it's disappointing if he does go Wigan. I would have loved for him to come to a team going for promotion. Personally, I don't know how anyone else feels. Let me know in the comments below. Scott Lightning saying Brentford only completed 211 passes at their ground. Tells you exactly how they play. Yeah, they play like that against a lot of teams, but it works for them, isn't it? Doesn't it? They're efficient. I think somebody said they're like a new age Stoke. But listen, Stoke stayed a long time in the Premier League before they eventually dropped. So I'm sure they would take it. But yeah, we've got to counter that. We've got to counter that. Yeah, Gary, it's true. Yeah, Joe's family still live in Wigan. Yeah, that's what I mean. You can understand from a sentimental point of view and helping them up, but I don't know. Hopefully it works out well and he does the business and overperforms. And B3 just adding for Furpo there. Furpo's performance has improved the past couple of games. Just remember everyone said this as well, because if he does make a mistake on Sunday, don't just come to me. Remember, some of you said it too, all right? We're in this together. We're in this together. Dominic Martin saying Brentford will be a tough game, especially as they have Tony, Mbuemo, Jensen, Norgard, Damsgaard, and Henry available. Absolutely, Dominic. It's not going to be easy. It really isn't. And that's why I'm saying if we don't win, it will be very, very disappointing. But you can understand why. Brentford aren't up in where they are in the table for no reason. They're not up there for no reason. So we just have to make sure that we give our best effort and just concentrate at the back. It seems like it's the biggest ask. I see so many comments saying the same thing. We'd be so good if we had a good defender. If we had good defenders, I know, but it's easier said than done, isn't it? But they just have to. They have to pattern up at the back. It's as simple as that. Yeah, and look out. Yeah, Sam here can see those balls over through to Wissa and Mbuemo being dangerous. Yeah, whether Wissa is playing or not, or if he comes off the bench, he's a threat. The guy, he's somebody that I look at as a sub in the Prem and say that's making an impact. Not just coming on and making up numbers, not coming on doing nothing. He comes on, he makes an impact. The amount of times you see that yoga celebration is insane, especially as he comes off the bench a lot of the time. So yeah, they've got a lot of threats, but we've got a lot of threats too. He was talking about Nanto today and just how good it is to have Nanto around. He's a great guy. He keeps his feet on the ground, and it's something that he needs to help Somerville with, which I thought was interesting. Obviously Jesse and Crescencio must clash heads a bit, but you know what? You need that people. You don't need everyone to be a humble hello, how you doing kind of guy. Sometimes it's for me, I've said it many times, and I know a lot of people don't agree because you like to like your players, but I like SOBs. I like players that think they're good but back it up too. I love players like that, and we need more of those guys, in fact, in our team. So that mentality of not believing they can go in games and winning goes away. So I'm good with it, but obviously Jesse and Somerville, it's that love-hate relationship. But listen, as long as Somerville does the business on the pitch, I'm sure Jesse is happy. Yeah, Jack, exactly. Brentford have only lost 4 games all season, and Graham is saying it's more hope than anything else because form tells you that. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, of course, this is no guaranteed win. I'm hopeful of it just from what we can do, especially going forward. But obviously, it's the defense that always in the back of your mind going, "Oh, who's going to make a mistake today? Can Melier make the first save today?" You know what I mean? It's all mad. It's all mad. But listen, it's going to be a great game regardless. Let me just see if there's anything else before we do score predictions. I don't think there's anything else. If I remember anything, I'll just say it later on. Oh, I don't know if you know, but Forshaw's not going to be playing. I don't know if that matters to anyone, right? So listen, give me your score predictions then for this game, and I'm going to say mine straight off the bat because I can't get it out of my head. I'm going to go for a 3-2 Leeds United win. 3-2. What are you guys saying? Napa, though, he's not having it. He wants to let everyone know he's not on this one. Only a madman would start Firpo against Brentford's potent attack. Well, then call me crazy, Napa. Call me crazy. Uh, let's have a look. What we saying then? Darren's going for a 5-2. Going for a Desmond Graham. Yeah, a lot of 2-2s. German saying 2-1 Leeds. Nabinho 2-1 Leeds. Don J 3-2. K-Bone is saying 3-2 also. Yeah. Lewis, though, is going 5-2 Brentford. Yeah, I can see that too as well, Lewis. I can actually see that. Blake 7 saying, I would give Drame a chance. Yeah, me too, but I don't think it's going to happen. Don't think it's going to happen. Michael O'Donnell saying, cheers, KG, 5-4 defeat. Imagine that game. Imagine a 5-4. Lord have mercy. Yeah, a lot of 2-2s here, a lot of draws. Nakata saying 3-1, 4-1 by Iger. Man, that is optimistic. But Tom saying 4-2 Brentford. See, I understand. Tony T's even going for a 4-4. Tremendous, man. See these score predictions. And I will say this isn't completely going with logic for me, because logic would tell you Brentford are going to win this game just due to form. But I'm trying to mix a bit of logic and a bit of heart going into this, and that is the honest truth of this one. This is not pure logic today. This is more hopeful than anything. So, I've given them 2 goals. That's, what else can I give them? But yeah, 3-2. Come on, man. Our attack has got to do the business today. But sorry, Sunday, of course. So yeah, there's that. Let me just talk about the Deloitte Football Money League. Let me just get the info up. And while I do that, please hit a like on the video if you haven't already. This is Deloitte's Football Money League, and they calculate or independently calculate football clubs all over the world, their revenue. So it's about generating revenue. And they have us 18th in the world. They have us 18th in the world. And these were published 8 months after the end of the 21-22 season. And they've got very high rankings. I've heard of Deloitte before. I don't know if I'm even saying it right, but I know the name of their accounting firm. And listen, there's some clubs that are still being affected by the pandemic a couple of years ago. But let me just give you the numbers very quickly. So first is Manchester City with 731 million euros. This is all in euros. Second, Real Madrid, 730 million.8. Yeah. But we are 18th with 223 million.4. That is impressive. When you see some of the names on this list, by the way, and listen, go to Deloitte's website. It's all there. You got Bayern Munich, Barca, Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal, Juventus, Atletico Madrid, Borussia Dortmund, Inter Milan, West Ham, AC Milan, Leicester, who are just above us, and then behind us is Everton and Newcastle. Obviously, this is probably going to change. It's revenue, not profit. Just make that clear as well. If Robbie's right, it is revenue, but that just shows you the ceiling that we have got. We have got a tremendous ceiling, and if we are able to do things like improve our team on the pitch, improve Elland Road so we get more income, and obviously get more sponsors, just think out. Look at the ceiling we've got. You know what I mean? Considering we was out the Premier League for 16 years, people, and we're not even in the top 10. We're not even a top 10 Premier League club. The fact that we are even in this list just shows you just how big the reach is and why it's imperative that the next owners of this club, which looks like it's going to be the 49ers Enterprises, realize what they've got on their hands. This is a sleeping giant awaiting. Look at 16 years out the Premier League, and we're in the top 20 generating revenue in the world. That for me is tremendous. I don't know how everyone else feels about that, but that number is amazing. And that's why I always say with Leeds United, we should be doing better. Our squad should be better at this point. And it's because of things like that. We're not a small club. You know, I mean, even in the championship, we was pulling in how many views on Sky Sports? That's why they called it Sky Sports Leeds, isn't it? We was always being moved for TV because we brought in the figures. You know, even when we was in League One, we were the big fish that everyone wanted to beat. Like the size of the club has never been in doubt, and now we're back in the Prem. Possibilities are endless. Tom is saying it's our fan base, it's massive and worldwide. It absolutely is, and that's revenue generated. Imagine if we could expand Elland Road. Someone's asked about what. Oh, here we go. St Helens. What attendance do you think we can average? There's a waiting list of our season tickets. So who knows? Who knows? But what we are now? What is it like? 36, 35? Got to be looking at around 50, maybe 50. If you're going to expand, you've got to make it good. I reckon we could do 50. We're one club city. There's going to be other kids that will now be coming into football that will want to support Leeds United, their local team in the Prem. It's not like we were at the Championship and they needed to go and support Man City and everything else. No, they can be proud to support Leeds again. I know that shouldn't matter for a lot of people, but unfortunately it does. When you're a kid, you support teams that are winning. And we missed out 16 years of that, by the way, a whole generation of people. So, yeah, yeah, exactly. German is in agreement. Yeah, 50K, as is James. Darren Wong, though, is saying expand to 60K stadium to cater for international fans. That's a point. But I think it has to make financial sense. And if they don't believe they could get 60,000 for pretty much every home game, I don't think they'd do it. But yeah, for me, I think 50 is a reasonable one, or 55. Yeah, chilled Scotty, 55. But yeah, listen, if you want more details on that, go and check out Deloitte's website. It's all on there, and very interesting reading, I think. Very, very interesting. Now, listen, I'm going to close up with transfer news, and I've put that in the title because it doesn't really affect us. We've done our transfers currently so far in Verba and Jorginho. And obviously, we're looking at a midfielder that is still ongoing. That has not moved in Wanahi. That has not moved anywhere. It's still negotiations at this point. But other teams around us, people, are starting to move and shake. And I just want to bring it up on here because it kind of does affect us in a way. So we got Uatara, who's moved to Bournemouth from Lorient. They've taken one of the youngsters from Lorient, thankfully not Enzo Lefebvre, but Bournemouth have made a move there. Danny Ings, as we've seen, has moved to West Ham today for 15 million. And I said a few streams back, actually, when it was known that Ings was going to be available by Villa for possible loan, I would have done that for the rest of the season. This was before we signed Jorginho, but 15 million for Danny Ings. It shows you with West Ham that they are desperate to get out of the situation they're in. You know, if West Ham are still, flirting with the European places, they're not touching Danny Ings, but it shows you just what's happened around us. That mini league that we're in is just, it's a mess. It's absolutely too tight. Chris Wood has joined Nottingham Forest on loan with the obligation to buy. Crazy. Everton are looking to sign Danjuma, the winger that was at Bournemouth, who looked very good for Villarreal. So Everton are trying to make a move here. And one that is the most interesting, people. And I don't know if you, yes, I know, Jack. I saw that Lefebvre has been linked with Bournemouth, but I don't think he's going, thankfully. I don't think he's going. The one that interested me the most, though, was outgoing for Wolves, and that's Gonçalo Guedes, who literally arrived here in August, people. He cost Wolves 28 million. He's on loan at Benfica now. No obligation to buy, no option to buy, so he could be back at Wolves next season. But boy, that tells you a lot, doesn't it? That they have got a 28 million pound asset. Hasn't worked out for him. They don't think it's going to work for him at whatever time. Maybe he hasn't settled in the country. Maybe he can't adapt to Wolves the way they're playing at the minute. He's now at Benfica. Crazy how things work out. And to me, I kind of rate that because a lot of other teams, probably including ours, would persist and just keep going, even though it's not working out. Wolves have said, nope, it's not working. Go to Benfica and we'll reassess in the summer. I kind of rate it. But you just look at the business being done around us. And for me, I'm just gonna say it now. With our attack the way it is, I know the defense is a worry, but with our attack the way it is, with the return of Bamford, hopefully now for the rest of the season, he can be another option for us. Sinistera's back, Somerville is to come back. I think, and obviously Jorginho is still to come. These moves here that I've just mentioned now don't move me. I don't worry about these. Yes, they're going to give the clubs a bit of a jolt. Maybe they'll score a winner and everything else like that. Cool. But I just think that we just need to concentrate on ourselves and be happy with what we've currently got. Yes, we could do with another. Yes, we could do with another defender, maybe two. But in regards to what we've got, because listen, we've scored more goals than Villa this season. We've scored more goals than Wolves. I mean, that's not hard, but we've scored a lot of goals. It's not the scoring goals that worries me; it's the defense. But I do think we're going to outscore a few teams this season. I really do in games as well. I'm talking about 3-2s, 4-3s, maybe. So the teams are moving around us. They're doing desperate moves and some moves that they probably would never have done. And I really do think that Ings one is a perfect example. But yeah, I'm just not worried about these current moves that will maybe drag us into the bottom three. If you disagree or agree, let me know in the comments below, and let me know right now. I'm interested to hear. Tom is saying I agree. Yeah, are you in agreement that they don't worry you, Tom? Because none of these moves made me go, "Ooh, man, this could be a game changer." I'm like, yeah. Just like when Everton signed Mopai, and a few of you did want Mopai for whatever reason that is. The guy, he's not that guy. He's not that guy. Never been that guy. And there's a reason why Brighton were just so willing to let him go to Everton. That's what I mean. Your moves have got to move me, and none of these did. Batty's Magic Sponge, tremendous name. Afternoon KG, call it insanity on my behalf, but I can see us doing Brentford over 4-1. I'd love to see it, man. I'd love to see it. And John Knox is saying, I have a feeling we're about to smash another team. Yeah, another beating is coming for another team. I don't know if it's going to be this weekend, but I'm in agreement, John. I just think our attack, the way it is, the confidence in the way that they're playing. Rodrigo has never looked better. Never looked better. You know, Bamford looking like he wants it again. Never mind Somerville still to come back. That's why I'm just not worried. I'm not saying that and let me just clarify this, because whenever you don't say everything, people always assume what you're saying. I'm not saying that we're not in trouble or we're not in that mix, like we're just going to suddenly peel away. But I do think we've got one of the best potential to do so, in my opinion. And that's what I'll say. Sai is saying, do you think other teams would be worried about our signings, KG? I do think other teams will look at our attack and go, what the hell? And I think they're already doing that, Sai. When you look at the way Nanto is currently being marked, kicked about right now, and Somerville before him, before he got injured via a bad tackle, they absolutely are worried about our attack. The thing is, they know that they can get through our defense. So it's like a yin yang with us right now. But for sure, of course they're worried. And signing Jorginho, maybe Jorginho actually made some of these clubs go, you know what, we need to do something now. Because currently we're not seeing Everton and West Ham change their managers, and they're both playing each other this weekend, and that game is going to be huge for both. You just think about, I mean, that pressure cooker is going to be insane for West Ham and Everton this weekend. But that's what I mean. Teams are having to make moves now because it's too tight. And I think that we've kind of got a little bit ahead with the signing of Jorginho there. I think it's worried a few of our current rivals. And now they're having to make moves. But yeah. Yeah, and Darren, I said that on the stream. Darren just saying here, other teams around us will be jealous of our attackers. I'm in complete agreement. Listen, if I was a fan of one of those teams where you can hardly score a goal, and I see Leeds with Somerville, Nanto, of returning, Bamford, Rodrigo, who's been excellent in scoring the goals. Even Harrison, will chip in with his assist, at times. You're looking at that and thinking they have got the firepower to get out of this mini league that we're in. 100%. 100%. But listen, people, I'm going to leave the preview and everything else like that there. I think I've covered everything that I needed to cover. Let me just double check. Always got to double check. Yeah, I've double checked and I've done everything. And yeah, I'll be back on Sunday. Obviously, if there's a signing to talk about tomorrow, I'll be back tomorrow if there's any major news. But I will be back Sunday after the game. So join me for the match review after the Brentford game, and we'll talk about it then. Until then, have a great week, people. Enjoy and smash a like before you go. Peace out.